The day of reckoning is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. Iron Man mains are not going to be the only ones dominating the skies, because sooner rather than later, it seems, we're going to be getting Ultron into Marvel Rivals. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys do enjoy these kinds of videos, please be sure to go ahead and drop a like and the like button down below, and also make sure to subscribe with the notification bell icon turned on as well, just to stay up to date with the latest and greatest news on Marvel Rivals. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it here on the Emanigan channel, premiering with some leaks thanks to @RivalsLeaks over on X. We can see right here that the full Ultron moveset is already leaked in Marvel Rivals, and we're gonna go ahead and break it down right now. And let me tell you, Ultron being a support character is not really something I was anticipating. I was actually thinking that he was gonna end up being a Vanguard character, just simply based off the fact that he is literally coated in some of the strongest metals and he has so much to defend himself with and deflect. But it seems like this time he is going to be a support, and my goodness, is this man fixing to be one of the most overpowered supports I've ever seen. So let's go ahead and check out what we got going on here. In the attacks, he has what's called on screen Encephalo-ray. And it would seem that this is a ray that unleashes a burning energy beam. Now, the way that it's described right there, I don't want to be sounding like I'm thinking too much into it, but the whole burning energy beam, I know it probably just means it's a standard energy beam that's just going to go ahead and damage the target, but it also sounds like there might be a little bit of some lingering damage effects that might be on the enemy. Next one are his abilities. His ultimate is called Rage of Ultron, in which he literally summons an Ultron drone to fire their rays, damaging enemies or healing allies. And I think that that right there is something worth noting. For the most part, every single time a big healer uses their ultimate, say for example Luna Snow, say for example Jeff, say for example Mantis, say even Cloak and Dagger, they have one function. And for the most part, if you're playing as Jeff, it's just to get rid of everyone out of the map in the area. Obviously, if you swallow your teammates, you can spit them back out and then just jump off the map like all the Jeff mains do, because they hate being on dry land, I guess. If you're playing as Luna Snow, she puts on a show for you, starts doing her own concert while everyone else is, dying off around her, and she heals everyone of her teammates as well. Same thing with Mantis. And then with Ultron now, we're going to be seeing a character that not only heals allies, but also damages enemies. And I think that is going to be something very interesting to see, because we've not really seen that as much. I mean, I know that Jeff, whenever he swallows his teammates, he can also heal them when he spits them back out. However, this is something that is actively, if assuming, because the way that I'm imagining it is that it's going to be something like the Moon Haunts You, Moon Knight ultimate ability, right? I'm imagining a bunch of drones just up in the sky, raining down hellfire on everyone in the vicinity. And if your teammates are caught in the crossfire, then they're just going to be receiving some health boost, which I think would be really cool. But I am also very curious to see exactly how much health they're going to be receiving, especially if this is going to be an area of denial ultimate ability in the same way that Moon Knight's is. Moving on to the next one right here, we see dynamic flight, and this is exactly why I find it very interesting that this is going to be competing with Iron Man. Iron Man is a character that cannot walk, right? He's a character that always stays flying at all time for the most part. But this guy right here, Ultron, you can see in the description it says fly quickly in the direction of movement and then enter a free flight mode. So in other words, he basically zips forward and then immediately starts going upwards. Like, he can start flying off in any direction after that speed boost, which I think is going to be something very interesting. So I'm imagining like a Psylocke speed boost after she uses her ability, but then after the ending, instead of just staying on the ground, you just take off. And I feel like that already adds a whole layer of complexity between how people are going to be getting out of tough situations as a healer with Ultron, because if you get cornered by, let's say, a Hulk and a Venom, instead of just staying there and taking it, you get to just dash off in a direction and maybe drop down your ultimate, heal your Hulks, and let them deal with the damage while you fly off and heal them from the sky, which is going to be something very unique and very different, because again, we haven't really had any healers that actually can fly. I know that Cloak and Dagger, you have Cloak that can kind of do his levitation thing, but obviously while he's in Cloak form, he can't actually do any healing. It's more so just damage focused, whereas to Dagger is the one with the heat-seeking heals. However, moving on to the next one right here, we have Imperative Patch, and we can see right here it says, command a giant drone to follow an ally, constantly healing allies in its radius with additional healing for the designated ally. So not only are you going to go ahead and be healing your teammate, you're also going to be having a drone follow that teammate around, and also in my opinion, probably give them some sort of shield to just help them outlive any sort of extra damage that's being done to them. And I think that that is insane in the way that it's described. When I imagine you have like a drone following you around, and you're gonna be seeing a lot of people playing Conquest, and especially in the ranked game mode, just being followed by drones, I do wonder, how many times can you use this ability, and how long is the cooldown? Because it sounds like it could be something pretty overpowered if you're constantly getting followed by a drone that is just going to be healing you up. Is this something that is going to be lasting only a few seconds, or is this something that is going to be lasting until the drone gets destroyed? Obviously, I doubt it's going to end up being the latter, but with it being the former, how long is this going to be the case, and how long is it going to last, and how long is going to be the sweet spot before some people start complaining about how this might be too broken? And moving on to the very final ability he has here, we have Imperative Firewall. To summon drones to grant bonus health to allies within range centered on himself and the ally marked with Imperative Patch. Now, this is going to be something very, very, very overpowered and very skillful to use. So in other words, if you have like a big tank that you know is going in, getting down and dirty, getting all the damage, soaking it all up, but you're playing like a Conquest or maybe like a payload game mode, and you want him to just stay in the zone so that way the enemy team cannot, and by any means necessary, push that objective forward, then you can, in theory, just send a bot after him, and then when you see that the health is getting really low, you activate the Imperative Firewall, which will not only grant you bonus health and the allies around you, but also the allies who you sent that Imperative Patch drone for, which in turn means that if you can combine an Ultron and a Hulk, and you get the Hulk to use their Gamma Shields, and you get the Ultron to send his Imperative Patch to follow the Hulk around, he activates Gamma Shields on low health, the drone immediately starts buffing his health, and then you also have the allies with the Gamma Shields doing DPS damage on whoever's attacking the Hulk. You can really form a barrier there, and then if you have your ultimate ability and you drop it on top of the Hulk, he's gonna take health, and everyone else is gonna take damage, while you also have your DPS allies getting boosted from that health. This is literally forming to be one of the DPS's worst nightmares, because we're gonna have this dude flying around, soaring through the skies. I feel like it's going to be very interesting, and it sounds like a lot of Spider-Man mains are going to have their hands full trying to immediately dispose of this dude the second they see him. You see, traditionally, it's always been the DPS's worst nightmares to have a Jeff nearby, because Jeff, for the most part, means that once that ultimate ability gets charged off, if you're playing a competitive game mode, all your allies are off the objective, and if you're in overtime, that means you lose the game. But now it's going to be something a little bit different. Now, we're going to have to be focusing not only on the Jeffs, but not only on the Hulk tanks either, which of course are going to be the first line of defense, but now also on the healers in the sky in the form of Ultrons, as they're going to be dropping drones to go ahead and assist their allies. So I feel like this is going to be something that will definitely change up the meta. But what do you guys think? Let me know how you guys feel about all these changes, and about how all these different kinds of heroes being added into the game will potentially affect the meta. Do you guys like what is going on here with Ultron? Do you guys think that Marvel Rivals should be doing more of these kinds of heroes? And what do you guys want to see in the future updates for Marvel Rivals? If you guys did enjoy this video, please go ahead and make sure to drop a like on the like button down below. Make sure to subscribe. If you dislike, make sure to dislike the button, and also let me know exactly why. I do read all the feedback, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace out.